Jai Shri Krishna. Last time we saw the importance of the Ishwar Gyan. Any other Gyan keeps us bound in this thing which we call sansar. So besides Ishwar Gyan, all other Gyan cause the bondage in sansar. I don't care what Gyan it is. Birth in sansar leads to death. We saw that last time. Because it is based on agyan. Now to understand this, we will take an example. Why it is so. Hopefully we get a little clarity on this. Suppose a person builds an object. However, he is not an expert in its construction. Nonetheless, he manages to build it by copying and extrapolating. He looks around and says, well, this was built this way, maybe this will work here, and he starts building. And he is successful in building it. Now, this object will have some weak points. Actually many weak points, which he has no knowledge of. This is what is ignorance. And what he built with this knowledge is liable not to last very long because of the weakness in it. Similarly, all human beings having no or some alternate gyan. Everybody thinks they know something and they follow certain other, what they call God or whatever they may call it. And their gyan they follow. And because they follow the gyan, then their karma is subject to that gyan. And the karma which results in the next life, because there is nothing which goes unrewarded, as the fruit of their action. So next life of theirs becomes the fruit of their action, which is based on gyan other than Ishwar Gyan. So like the weakness in the object which this person built who was not expert in it, in its construction, this life does not last. It has weak points and life does not last. This is how we are in Mrityu Sansar Vartamani. Mrityu Sansar Vartamani means Sansar is where Mrityu Vartamani means happens. Because the weakness of our karma, we did not do the perfect karma we supposed to do, and we build the next life based on that karma, and that life has got lot more weaknesses, and we continue on that path eternally, all the time, one after the other, one after the other. That is the cycle of birth and death in this sansar. If you knew exactly how to live, how to do karma, then the next life would be having no weakness. It will be solid, perfect life. And then from there on, there is no mrityu for that person. That is what Amrit is. So it makes sense to find what the truth is and follow the truth itself, not something which you think is the truth or somebody else told this is the truth. Other stuff other than the truth is called Anyatha Gyan, and that leads to Mrityu Sansar Vartamani. So the Ishwar Gyan is Nitya. And those who have no Shraddha in this Dharma, Bhagavan says, they fail to reach the Parameshwar and continue to revolve in the path of sansar, which is the path of death. birth and death. From this, it follows that to understand this Gyan, one needs to have faith, Shraddha. Arjun had Shraddha in Bhagavan Krishna, and that is why he took refuge in Bhagavan. Therefore, now Bhagavan is telling Arjun the Ishwar Gyan. So this chapter is on Ishwar Gyan. That Gyan which, if we follow karma performed under this Gyan, which is Karma Yoga, will guarantee that the next life and from there on we will not be subject to the cycle of birth and death. Knowing this Gyan, which he will be free from evil, Ashubh, of the worldly existence. So knowing this Gyan, which Bhagavan is going to tell Arjun, Arjun will be free of Ashubh, evil of the worldly existence. This is the highest Gyan, because Ishwar is above all, the highest. There is nothing beyond Ishwar. So there is no other Gyan beyond Ishwar Gyan. Wherever any avatar of Ishwar, like that of Bhagavan Sri Krishna, wants to tell the deep Gyan, there the depth of the Gyan means His majesty. What is the depth in the Gyan? It's His majesty, His grandeur. And whatever this majesty of His is described, that is called Mahavakya. These words which describe the grandeur of Paramatma, of Ishwar, who is Mahan, who is the highest. So that those words are called Mahavakya. In the deep Gyan, Parmeshwar wants to enumerate His powers, meaning His Satta. Satta is power, His powers. He wants to enumerate His powers. And this is what we humans fail to understand correctly, what His powers are actually. What is Paramatma? We don't understand correctly. That's why people call whosoever they follow, they call him as Paramatma or God, whatever they want to call. Here in this chapter, this has been described, and again it is described in chapter 15. I must point out that today there are many religions which human beings follow. In all of these, Ishwar, Parmeshwar, God is called by different names. However, in none of these there is Gyan which describes as to what is God, what it is. Nowhere you will find description. What is God? What is Ishwar? What is Parameshwar? That is because all these religions have been conceived by Jeev in the human form. All the leaders of these religions, you may call them prophets or whatever, they are Jeev in the human form. Gita is the word of Parameshwar, Sri Krishna. It is only Parameshwar who knows Parameshwar. Nobody else knows what Parameshwar is, because there is nobody above him. He is the highest and can help Jeev attain the state of Parameshwar. This only can be done by Parameshwar. Nobody else's Gyan or any dharma can do that, because that knowledge is not there. And as we saw earlier today, to build an object, you must be expert in it. You must have complete knowledge of it. If you don't have that total knowledge and follow exactly what the knowledge says, you're not going to get the right place. Others, not knowing the truth, find fault in Ishwar Gyan and do not follow it. And this is a fact. When somebody does not know the truth, exactly what somebody else is saying, how they react, they try to follow, they try to find fault in it and denigrate it. That's the nature of human beings. So, Bhagavan Krishna says to take those fools deluded in the matter of Gyan. They do that because they have no idea about Gyan, and that's why they do this. Leave them alone. They are Sarv Gyan Vimudan. This comes in Shlok 32, chapter 3. Sarv Gyan Vimudan. These people are called Sarv Gyan Vimudan. Now, they are Vimud, means they are deluded in all the Gyans. They have no Gyan. Now we will continue the Gyan told by Bhagavan Sri Krishna. Here the depth lies in the fact that it is He, Bhagavan Krishna says, it is me, it is He who is the creator. Nobody else has said that. However, He is not in it, or He is not in sansar. He has created the sansar, but He is not in it. And that is something we need to pay attention so we can understand exactly what this means. And I'll try to make it very clear today. We will take an example to describe this. If we take a piece of cloth and place it in a bucket of water, the cloth will get wet. The water is inside as well outside of the cloth. However, that water is still separate from the cloth. It is not the cloth. Water is water and the cloth is cloth. This is what we need to understand, that the satta or the power of Ishwar is such that having created the sansar and being present in it, He remains separate from it all at all times. That is His power. It is this that we need to understand here. Now we'll take Shlok 4.
Maya tatamidam sarvam jagadavyaktamurtina matsthani sarvabhutani nachaham teshvavasthitaha.
Bhagavan is telling Arjun, Tat midam sarvam. Tat tatam idam sarvam. Tatam means the spread, the vistar, the like you build a tent, so you spread things out under the tent. Tatam idam means this, sarvam, all this. The elaborate expansion of all this, Jad and Chetan. What is the expansion of Jad and Chetan? That's what samsara is made up of. Here, Jad is where the consciousness is not active. See, consciousness is everywhere, in everything. But in Jad, it is not active. Whereas in Chetan, it is active. That is what creates the Chetana in a person. Maya, I have done or has been done by me. Jagat, this entire expansion which is called Jagat. Now, people will say, in science they say evolution, or this theory or that theory. Bhagavan Krishna says, it is nothing more than spreading. Spreading what? Spreading the prapanch. Elaborate expansion of the prapanch. That is what sansar is. Okay? And elaborate expansion means it is so intricate and so interesting that it can be everywhere. And prapanch is jad. So this is the expansion, elaborate expansion of jad, in which Chetan means Jivatma has been brought into. So Jivatma is also there. So the expansion of, that's why it's so elaborate expansion. In that jad, Jivatma can survive and act and live. And how I have done this, Bhagavan says, Avyakta Murtina. I did it remaining unmanifest. I did not manifest to do this. Avyakt Murtina. I did not take Murti. I remained Avyakt, unmanifested. And that's how I did it. All this expansion has been done by me, Bhagavan says, by my unmanifest Shakti. Okay? We have used the word Satta before. Satta means powers. So he used his unmanifested powers for this elaborate expansion, which we call sansar. Sarva Bhutani, all beings, all pranis, matasthani, they are situated in me. It is his expansion, it is his creation in which all the prani bhut are situated. Cha aham, but I am na avasthita tasu, na avasthita teshu. I am not situated in them. Very clear. This is the elaborate expansion of Jad and Chetan, which Bhagavan Krishna says, I did it with my Avyakt Shakti. I did not have to manifest to do this. And in it, there are all prani bhut there. They are situated in it. However, I am not in it because he has been Avyakt all along. So how can he be in there? So this elaborate expansion called Jagat or the Sansar has been created by me through my unmanifest Shakti, Maya, and all beings are situated in this creation of mine. However, I am not in them. Now we need to understand this. How he is not in it, if it is creation. And for us it's very hard to understand because we are looking from human angle, our own buddhi. This we will see later on. This is called Viruddha Dharma. And only Paramatma or Ishwar has it. Nobody else has it. No Devata, nothing. Human beings don't even count in that. So there are two aspects of Ishwar Sarup. Ishwar is a Sarup. Okay? Sarup means just is everywhere. One aspect is his Shakti, his powers. Also can be referred to as his lordship. That is why we call Lord. Wherever you see in every in an English translation of Gita, say, the Lord said. What does the word Lord means? That means that he has got the lordship. Prabhuta. He is Prabhu. Lord in Hindi is called Prabhu. And the other is his Anand. So there are two aspects of Ishwar Sarup. One is his powers, his Shakti, which gives him his lordship. He is Lord over all the creation. And the other one is his Anand, his Nirgun Anand. Okay? Now remember this, his Anand is Nirgun. What we look at Sukh as human beings is Trigun Anand, which is Sukh. It's not Nirgun. So that Anand is his Nirgun Sarup. So there are two aspects of Ishwar. That is where Jeev has to be in order that there is no rebirth into this Mrityu Sansar. The Jeev has got to be where? Has got to be in that Anand Sarup of Paramatma. Okay? Once gets there, then there is no cycle. He is free from cycle of birth and death. In order for Jeev to get there, the Jeev have to be free of all bondages or attain the state of moksha. So once a Jeev attains the state of moksha, then and only then he goes into Parameshwar Sarup and enjoys the Anand of that Sarup, bliss. And after that, there is no coming back. Because Bhagavan has said, न तद भासयते सूर्यो न शशांको न पावकः यद गत्वा न निवर्तन्ते तद धामो परमम्. So here that is his dham, that is his place from where there is no return. There is no surya. Surya cannot make it shine. Nothing. It's so powerful. It's a total bliss. There is nothing like it. The Anand of Ishwar Sarup is everywhere. It's not just, it's one place. You go at 10th story or wherever you go up in the sky or space, that's where Anand, no. Ishwar is everywhere. So his Anand is everywhere. It's part of Ishwar. However, it is unattainable by Jeev because the Jeev is bound by three gunas. Now, Ishwar Anand is Nirgun Anand. And earlier we have seen that there are two rivers flowing in this sansar. One is Devata path, one is Ishwar path. They run parallel. They do not cross over. So, the one in Trigun or Devata flow, which we are all in sansar, we have to jump over and go over to Ishwar pathway. That is what Gyan does it for us. And if we don't know that, we have to become expert in doing that, jumping, make that jump. Again, that example which I gave earlier, the person who is building an object has no knowledge of it or very little knowledge. If he start to jump, he will drop. He cannot make it over. You got to have total knowledge of it. So Gyan is very important. That's why I say, without Gyan, there is no Mukti. So these three gunas and all the bondage caused by the three gunas have to be removed for Jeev to become Nirgun, which is its original and true state. Jeev is actually Nirgun. But by being in Trigun, in this company of all Trigunatmak things, he has become Trigun. But he has got to shed all that and become Nirgun again. Upon removal of the three gunas, the Nirgun Jeev can get the Anand of Ishwar Sarup. Now, Jeev is situated in Sansara. And that's what Karma Yoga is. By following Karma Yoga, we can shed all our Trigun bondage caused by Trigun powers. And as soon as you shed all those, you become Nirgun and pure, And like we said earlier, Ishwar Anand is everywhere. You don't have to go anywhere. You right there and there and there at that spot, you start enjoying Ishwar Anand. It's not that you have to die and go somewhere. No. In this way, in the very beginning, I had explained that in this sansar, there are two totally separate pathways. One is that of Ishwar and the other that of Devata. These two run parallel and do not cross. Furthermore, the sole purpose of the creation was to provide Jeev the opportunity to get on the path of Ishwar. That is the sole purpose. People ask question, what is the purpose of human life? Why did God created all this? Bhagavan says this is what creation is done for. So, Jeev can get on the path to Ishwar. Because that's where eternal bliss is. There is nothing, nowhere else it is. However, the creation was done through the Shakti of Ishwar. Therefore, to be fair, and Ishwar is very fair, he does nyaya. He doesn't take anybody's side. And to be fair, Ishwar had to allow Devata worship also. I talk to people in other religions, they say Hindu Dharma, they worship so many Devatas. Right? But Bhagavan says, these Devatas are the one who have created my power. They are my powers. They have created all this. And they are running all this. So to be fair to them, I have allowed them to be worshipped. They should be worshipped because they are more powerful than anything which is in the sansar. So this Devata worship, other religions don't have any concept of Devata. You see? And that's the problem. And they think Devatas are demons or whatever they want to call them. Again, not knowing the truth, a person start to think totally different concept. This Devata worship works only in the karma and fruit thereof. That is job of Devata, to help us perform the karma for the fruit of the karma. Devata is the one who gives all the fruit of our actions. Because we just saw, Bhagavan says, I'm not in it. Devata is in it, but I'm not in it. I don't come here to give the fruit of your worldly actions, Triguna actions. Devata does that. So Devata is worthy of being worshipped. And this fruit of action keeps the Jeev tied down to the sansar. Because the fruit you get is based on agyan. Okay? It's not gyan. It's Devata gyan, which is not Ishwar gyan. So, that fruit from there will bind you again and again, bring you back again and again in the sansar. It doesn't give total release. That's why in Bible you say forbidden fruit comes in there. Okay, Adam was told not to eat the fruit. Okay. So what is the fruit? Fruit of action. Do the action, but do not take the fruit of that. Ishwar, being fair to all, respects the choice made by Jeev to worship Devata. Those who worship Devata, Ishwar says that's great, that's fine. He has no problem with that. He respects every Jeev's right and choices. All this being situated in the three gunas naturally remains separate from Ishwar. So all the activity which goes on in sansar is in three gunas. Devata is all trigunatmak, they all are three gunas. and they are bound by it eternally. So whatever happens will cause the bondage. So Bhagavan says, I am not in them. I do not cause bondage. I am there to release everybody of the bondage, not to put them in the bondage, which Trigun does. So he cannot be in it. He is not in it. Once any jeev takes refuge in me, Bhagavan says, the Parmeshwar, then that jeev has come to me. Okay, by choice. Nobody forced him to come here. He came to me, Bhagavan says, by choice, as Arjun did. And then I look after that jeev. Those who are in three gunas, in sansar bhakti and devta bhakti, whatever people do, I'm not in it, Bhagavan says. But those who look at me and come to me for help, I look after them. Those who are on the path of devata, I let them remain under the powers of devata. I do not interfere with devata work. Okay? And the example is, which we can understand, we all have police force, right? The government has police force or National Guard or whatever. Who decided to have police? We all decided to have police for our protection. Now when that policeman gives us a ticket for speeding, we are the one who made the rule. The speed limit should be 25 miles an hour, 30 miles an hour on the road. But when we speed and the policeman gives us the ticket, we don't like it. Okay? Bhagavan said, don't interfere. They are doing their job. You are the one who did wrong. So Bhagavan says, whatever devta does in sansar, I do not interfere because they are licensed by me to do sansar work. I ask them to do that. They are my powers. I do not interfere with their work. So those who follow them, he let them follow them. He does not interfere. And neither should we. I hope this has made this clear as to what is this, what is meant by when Bhagavan says, it is all in me, but I am not in it. Now we'll go a little deeper into this. In reality, there are three Chetan entities, okay, which have always existed. Nobody created them, they always have been there. At the top of these three entities is Ishwar, being Nirgun. The Anand of Ishwar is also Nirgun. All Devata are Trigun. So they are next in line. They are Trigun. And their Anand is also Trigun. All Devata exist based on their Sarup. They all have their own Sarup. Ishwara has his Sarup, Devatas have their individual Sarup, in which they dwell, they stay there, they are in it. Unlike these two, Ishwar and Devata, the Jeev has no Anand. Jeev has Sarup, but has no Anand. Devata has their Anand, which is Trigun Anand. Ishwar has his Anand. We Jeev have no Anand. That's why we run after pleasures. Everybody is looking for something fun to do, so we can get pleasure out of it. Sometimes it means making fun of other people, and they enjoy doing that. For what? To get joy out of it. That's their way of getting joy. Because Jeev has no Anand of his own, has nothing of it. Jeev is totally bankrupt, has nothing of its own. Unlike these two, Jeev has no Anand, but can get the Anand of Devata as well as that of Ishwar. He has got that right. God-given right from very beginning, from ever and ever, that he can get Anand from Devta as well as Anand of Ishwar. Choice is his. All exist on the basis of Sarvatmak Dharma of Ishwar. All this thing is based on Ishwar's Sarvatmak Dharma. With Sarvatmak Dharma, Ishwar becomes Atma of everything that exists. If Ishwar pulls away his Sarvatmakta, his Sarvatmak Dharma, not everything will cease to exist. Devta or Jiva, everything will cease to exist. Ishwar has become Atma because he has pervaded everything inside and out. And it is his power which makes us all alive and go and do our work and do karma. So he is that's why we call him Paramatma. He's got Sarvatmak Dharma. That is his Dharma. Dharma means what he has adorned, dharan kiya. He has what he has adorned, he is Atma of everything. Devta, Jeev, everything. Therefore, every entity exists with the support of Ishwar. Ultimately, it's the support of Ishwar that makes us exist. This is what Bhagavan is telling Arjuna. Bhagavan says, Maya tatam idam. All this is due to me. Maya tatam idam. All this is due to me. If he pulls his powers, everything will cease to exist. It is his power which is keeping everything together and moving forward. We will take an example to understand this further. A country exists and runs under the authority of its government. The government is because of the constitution of the country. Constitution creates the government. All in the government are conducting the affairs of the country under the constitution. Everything has to be constitutional. That's why anybody wants to make a law, it has to be tested in Supreme Court. So does it comply with the constitution or not? The president can operate only under the powers of the office of presidency. His powers have been enumerated and defined. These are your powers you can operate under. The president, they come and go, but the power of the presidency remains the same all the time. It is not something which we can see or touch. We can't see what the office of presidency is. We can't even touch it. We cannot touch or see the sovereignty of the country. Okay? But it is there. Similarly, in Sansar, the sovereignty, Sarvabhaumik Satta, sovereignty is the Ishwar on the basis of which all continues to take place. That's exactly how it is. In this world, no human beings can make any rules or any systems which will not follow this pattern. Because this creation has been done that way. Everything has to be under the power or Sarvabhaumik Satta of Paramatma, of Ishwar. Just like the workers of the government, they are not the government, they are just workers. They are simply operating by the powers vested in them. So when you go to a judge, they say, by power vested in me. It's not he who is doing it, it's the power which is vested in him. That's what he is giving the judgment. And the power comes from constitution. So all these workers, are under the power which is vested in them. All devata operate under the sovereign power of Sarvatmak Dharma of Ishwar. Okay? So, where devata gets their power and authority? From the Sarvatmak Dharma of Ishwar. That's why if he pulls away that Sarvatmak Dharma, everything will cease to exist because they won't know what to do. Now we take the second part of the Shlok 4. Sarva Bhutani Matsthani. All prani bhut are there due to my power, my authority, Prabhuta. Whose authority? Bhagavan says, my authority due to which all prani bhuts are situated in sansar. Na chaham teva vasthita. However, I am not in them. They are all there, but I am not in them because I am Avyakta Murti. I am Avyakt. I do not manifest like that. My authority is Avyakt, under which everything is situated and working. Therefore, I am not in them. Now, what it is that is not in any prani bhut? What it is, what Bhagavan is saying, what is not in there? It is the Anandamaya Sarup of Ishvara. See, earlier we said there is a Shakti Sarup and there is Ananda Sarup, Ishvara. Anand is not there. Shakti is working. Under Sarvatmak Dharma, Shakti is working, conducting all the affairs of the sansar everywhere all the time. But the Anandamaya Sarup is separate, is not there. Because all prani bhut and all devata are established in three gunas, my Anand Sarup remains separate since it is of Nirgun kind. Okay? Nirgun and Trigun will never mix. Devata pathway is Trigun pathway, Ishwar pathway is Nirgun pathway. They go parallel side by side all the time, but they never come across, they never meet. So, in the Shlok 4, Bhagavan is telling that due to my Sarvatmak Dharma, the sansar and all in it exists on the basis of the invisible powers of my lordship. Okay? Powers of his prabhuta, his lordship. That is what keeps everything together and running. However, my rasatmak dharma, Anand Sarup, my Anand is not in them. You see, I hope it makes it clear. I want to make sure everybody understands this. Because the Anand is Nirgun and all the existence is Trigun. So being in Trigun, we cannot get that joy of Anand. There's no way. Because separate. We have to become Nirgun, and then and only then we can enjoy that Nirgun Anand. That is why Bhagavan says, I'm not in them. Bhagavan cannot be in them. There is no way he can be in them. Unless he can only be in whatever is Nirgun. He cannot be in Trigun. Therefore, I am not in them. Now in the next shlok, Bhagavan explains this thing further.
न च मत्स्थानि भूतानि पश्य मे योगमैश्वरम् भूतभृन्न च भूतस्थो ममात्मा भूतभावनः.
Bhutani matsthani na. All these prani bhut, not situated in me, but Pashyami Yogmeshwaram, behold my divine Yog, Shakti, that Bhoot Bhrat cha Bhootvan, Bhoot Bhavan, supporting and bringing forth the beings. Mam Atma na cha Bhutastho, my Atma is not situated in those Prani Bhoot. So Bhagavan is saying that it is true that all Jeev Devata are situated in me. I am Sarvvyapak. Okay? Sarvvyapak means all pervading. He is pervaded over everything, through and out and everywhere. So it makes sense that everything is in him, situated in him. Since I am Sarvvyapak, and like submerging the piece of cloth in the bucket of water wets the cloth all over, all Jeev Devata situated in me should also experience my Anand. But they do not. Okay, this makes, it's logical. If Ishwar is everywhere, through us and outside, covered everywhere, so just like the example, we took the piece of cloth in a bucket of water and cloth gets wet. So should we also be getting Anand of Paramatma, because he is all through us. Why don't we get it? Bhagavan says, I am also Sarvatit. Not only I am Sarvvyapak, but I am also Sarvatit. I am away from everything. So this Sarvatit Dharma of mine is for all that is Trigunatmak. This is something I hope you understand. Being Sarvatmak and Sarvvyapak, Ishwar says, Bhagavan says, I am also Sarvatit. I am Atit, far away from all this. Okay? And this Sarvatit Dharma is for what? For anything which is Trigunatmak. Okay? This is what Viruddha Dharma is. Only Ishwar can do that. Nobody else can do it. When Jeev becomes free of avidya, this Sarvati Dharma does not apply to them. Okay? So interesting here. The Sarvati Dharma applies to only whosoever is in Trigun. And once you shed the Trigun and become Nirgun, the Sarvati Dharma doesn't apply. You become Sarvvyapak, he applies, Sarvatmak, everything applies. Sarvati doesn't apply to us. Since it is my instigation or prerana, due to which Maya is able to create the sansar. Maya could not do without Ishwar's desire or instigation. Maya is very powerful, but still bound by Ishwar powers. Therefore, I am Bhoot Bhavan. Okay? Bhoot Bhavan means all the prani became beings. Okay? Because of my powers. Maya could bring them in the sansar because of my instigation. Otherwise, she will not be able to bring in the sansar. But I am not in these bhoot, since they are not my ansh. Now, if you take the Advait Vedanta, where they say everything is Brahma, and when they read the shlok, Mame Vansho Jeev Loke Jeev Bhuta Sanatana, they say that All the prani bhut are part of that Brahm, ansh of the Brahm. That's not Gyan. Bhagavan says, they are not my ansh. They've been brought into sansar by my instigation to Maya. Bring them in the sansar. And Maya brought him in sansar. So he became Bhut Bhavan. But he is not in them because they are not his ansh. In other words, they are not made from me or of me. Ishwar is also Bhut Bhrat. So this is another word, Bhut Bhrat, or the sustainer, since it is his Sarvatmak Dharma due to which Devta can experience their Trigun Anand and also impart their Trigun Anand to Jeev. So he becomes Bhut Bhrat, sustainer. And Jeev can experience the Trigun Anand of Devta because of this power, because he is Bhut Bhrat. In Parmeshwar, many dharmas appear to be contradictory. This is called Viruddha Dharma. It's only Ishwar who can be everywhere and nowhere. Okay? He is everywhere. We just saw today in this slok. He is everywhere, but he is not in them. He is nowhere. This is Viruddha Dharma. No other entity has it. By virtue of having such Viruddha Dharma, he is Ishwar of everybody. That is what makes him Ishwar of everyone. In the next slok, Bhagavan gives an example to explain that having all prani bhut situated within him, how it is that he remains completely separate from their gun dharma. So in slok 4, Bhagavan said, Matsthani sarvabhutani, that all prani bhut are situated in me. This raises a question. To any thoughtful person, the question will come to mind. Yes, okay, they are situated. But how all the Jeev are situated in Ishwar Sarup? Are they situated in one place somewhere in his Sarup? How they are situated? Because Jeev also does karma. He's got to be free to act. Is he sitting in there bound by something? No. Bhagavan says all humans perform karma. They perform karma also. So, are all prani bhuts situated at one place? In this next slok, Bhagavan says that it is not so. And he'll tell how we are situated in sansar.
यथाकाशस्थितो नित्यं वायुः सर्वत्र गोमहान् तथा सर्वाणि भूतानि मत्स्थानीत्युपधारय.
Yatha sthito nityam. As always, nitya, always situated in akash or ether, the empty space, vayu sarvatra go mahan. Vayu sarvatra go mahan. Mighty wind, mahan means mighty wind, vayu, goes everywhere, sarvatra go mahan. He goes everywhere. Vayu can go everywhere. Tatha yupadharya sarvani bhutani. So know that all prani bhut, sarvani bhutani, all prani bhut, matsthani, dwell in me. So Bhagavan says that as Vayu, the wind, with all its own powers, wind has a lot of power. moves all over Akash. However, it rests and is based in the Akash. It cannot go outside the Akash. It has all the powers, but can only go in Akash, because Akash is what supports the Vayu. That's the support system for the Vayu. Likewise, know that all prani bhut, having originated from my thought, my desire, abide in me. So what power is there by which all the prani bhut are in sansar? It is Ishwar's desire, ichha. That's why they are. That power, just like wind has its own power, we have the power of Ishwar ichha. And that's how we are situated here. So all prani bhut are supported by my sarv vyapak dharma, and it is my sarv atmak dharma, shakti, what is in them to help them in their karma. Okay? So we are situated, all the prani bhut are free in the entire Swarup of Paramatma, in the sansar, whatever, wherever they are, and the power through which they act, they perform their karma, is Ishwar's Sarvatmak Shakti. That is the power which helps them conduct their karma. So there is no bondage in there. Everybody is free. It's not that all the jivas are locked up in one place in Ishwar Sarup. No. Just like Vayu is free to move around in Akash, so are all jiv, prani bhut, are allowed to move around in the sansar, within the canopy, within the sarvyapak roop of Paramatma, and they are nourished, they are giving the power from the sarvatmak dharma or sarvatmak shakti of Paramatma, which sustains us and help us perform our karma. So there is no bondage. We are free like wind. And a wind has its own power, but our power is Ishwar's Sarvatmak Shakti. That's what we have. So actually we are more powerful than wind. So there is no bondage by their being situated in me. However, I remain in my own Anand and not in any of them. Okay, so I think it's very clear, it should be very clear now. Okay, all the prani bhut are in Ishwar Sarup. They are supported by the Sarvatmak Shakti of Ishwar. They are all in them, but Bhagavan says, I am not in them. I am in my own Anand. I am enjoying my own Anand. I am not in any of them. Today we learn as to how it is that all prani bhut are situated in Ishwar Sarup, and Ishwar is not in them. Knowing Ishwar in this way, that he is separate from all and is the merciful, loving Lord of us all, we can perform his bhakti. Now, from Shlok 7 onward, Bhagavan is going deeper into this Gyan. In order to understand it, we will need to learn the definitions of certain words, and we will take it up at the next time. Sri Krishna Arpanamastu.